Hi everyone, hope you're doing well. So, you guys recall that one video I made last year where I was talking about the Linux experience when it comes to HoloLive games, and generally speaking, it's pretty good, but there is one game in specific that's a little bit cumbersome, and that is HoloEarth. Now, the thing is, since I made that video, it's actually gotten easier to install this game because I remember back when I made that video, there was this one issue in which only the flatpak version of Luchas would actually allow the game to redirect to the primary browser on your computer. But it seems like this is now working on the non-flatpak version of Luchas. It also works with the HoloEarth Launcher, so that's pretty much a non-issue. You do still need to create the temp folder, but that's a pretty easy step. It's not really something worth worrying about. But we do have a new problem. And this issue actually didn't exist when I made that video. So if I click here, click play, it shows this. Now this is the Holo Launcher, and it's entirely blacked out. And I'm gonna show you right now which runner I'm using. I'm using Wine 10.0, but I'm just gonna tell it right now. Every single fucking runner here will have the exact same problem. Every single one of them. So, bit of a doozy. Now, don't worry, there are solutions for this problem. So, if you have X11 or Xorg and you use that display server in specific, then this isn't even really an issue to you. You can just run the Holo Launcher just fine. However, if you have Wayland and you use Wayland, like me, there are a couple of workarounds that you can do. So the first one, and this is the easiest one, relatively easy. Actually, no, I wouldn't even really consider this easy because technically speaking, it's more of a temporary solution. So I'm gonna show you right now. So basically, you see here where it says the executable that's meant to the primary executable that's gonna go with if you click the game. So you can go to Holo Apps, HoloEarth, and then select the HoloEarth.exe. This will allow you to just directly launch the game without going through the launcher. Now the thing is, you can do that, and technically speaking, it is a quicker way of accessing the game. But if there's a new build of the game, usually you are kind of forced to install it, so you need the Holo Launcher regardless. And so that's when we get to the second alternative for what you can do. So, and this one's actually a little bit easier to do on Lutris. So you see here where it says virtual desktop, windowed. Select this, click save, and then open this. And now we can actually see the Holo Launcher. Now the thing is, I'm not the biggest fan of this solution. And there are two main problems. The first one is that unfortunately, virtual desktop just doesn't work with Proton at all. It's no longer supported. I've personally tried enabling this feature. It just never seems to work super well with Proton. So if you're going to use virtual desktop, you pretty much have to use it while using the Wine runner. And the problem with Wine is that, at least in my experience, it's something that I'm experiencing right now, which is the fact that my controller seems to have a harder time getting recognized. And granted, this game doesn't have a very good gamepad support anyway, so you probably will need to use the mouse and keyboard anyway if you want the best experience. But that's when we get to the second problem. So I'm going to launch the game, and I'm going to show you exactly. So if you see the mouse right here, I'm going to click here. It's going to be easier to kind of show what I mean. And we'll get to the main lobby. I want you to pay attention to the mouse movements. Alright, we're loaded up. So, everything's fine. It's all good. It's all good. I can move around, everything. Oh, and by the way, remember that bug that I mentioned like a couple of months ago, in which if you tab out of the game, you can no longer use the mouse and keyboard. I don't think this is a problem anymore, so that's good. That's good. That is very nice. I can do this, go back, still works. That's good. But you notice how the game will stop scrolling after a while. You guys can't see it, but that's because the mouse movements are not locked to the window of the game. And if I'm not mistaken, this is set to full screen. But even if I go to window, well, actually window, it's gonna be even worse. Let's go with border window. Click OK. This one actually seems to be a little bit better because it does seem like the mouse is locked. But like, I'm sure you probably noticed that there's a little bit of a you can see traces of the virtual desktop thingy. I'm sure there probably is a way to fix that, and I'm gonna see if there is a way, because this does seem mostly like a resolution issue. I'll look into it, because, you know, I might as well, but a little bit non-intuitive, if I'm being completely honest, because when I don't have a virtual desktop, I usually don't need to deal with this. It is a little bit of a minor inconvenience in the grand scheme of things, because at the very least you can launch the game. Not that you couldn't before, you can technically just launch the game directly, but you know, it is a bit of a shame that we have to go through these workarounds. But you know, if you're running into this issue, because this one's actually using Proton, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, it's using Proton GE, and if I click here, yeah, it's blacked out. So it's happening everywhere. But you know, you can use these workarounds in case you're playing this on Linux. I guess more specifically the Steam Deck. I've actually haven't really tested this workaround in the Steam Deck, at least not yet. I'm sure it probably would work, but I would have to double check just to be sure. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Don't really need to elaborate any further. Hope you all doing well.